Rise up! I'm the leader of the opposition. Your worship, may I tell my story? For speaking truthfully, they ostracize me, but that's okay, truth sets you free. Once my conscience clear, big lies has no fear of anyone, so I don't care. They take away my position because I tell the nation of the presence of deep division. But their subsequent action has been a revelation of a divided administration. So if it means that I have to, I'm standing alone. Even if I am close to, I'm standing on my own. But I will not flinch, will not give an inch. I refuse to be deterred. There are truths that must be heard. I cannot stand around and watch my country run aground. Not if I could help it. From my bully pulpit, it is my obligation as leader of the opposition. I say I have no choice but to be the people's voice. Oh yeah, yeah. I have no choice but to be the people's voice. Madam Speaker, allow me to tell you how it went. They even took me to court. Ha! They came real hard at me, even legally, trying to silence me permanently. Against the total run, but my reaction, let them know that I fear no one. We're in a democracy, and that confers upon me the right to question them publicly. Elected leaders must be open to war scrutiny, or they're not fit to govern this country. So if it means that I have to, I'm standing alone. Even if I am forced to, I'm standing on my own. But I will not flinch, will not give an inch. I refuse to be deterred. There are truths that must be heard. I will not stand around and watch my country run aground. Not if I could help it. From my bully pulpit, it is my obligation as leader of the opposition. I say I have no choice but to be the people's voice. I have no choice but to be the people's voice. Ah! Madam Speaker, allow me 5 more minutes. Country above self. Our motto states clearly, unambiguously, for us to put country before party. So don't expect me to see and not see my country takes priority. And if in my opinion, and based on observation, we're headed in the wrong direction, don't expect silence from me as long as I am healthy. I don't play that kind of hypocrisy. So if it means that I have to, I'm standing alone. Even if I am forced to, I'm standing on my own. But I will not flinch, will not give an inch. I refuse to be deterred. There are truths that must be heard. I will not stand around and watch my country run around. Not if I could help it. From my bully pulpit, it is my obligation as leader of the opposition I say I have no choice but to be the people's voice. I have no choice but to be the people's voice. Madam Speaker, allow me to speak to Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, come up here, please. Last verse, final verse. Stand right there, right there. Listen carefully. Hi. Mr. Prime Minister, as the nation's leader, here are some things for you to consider. For 30 long years, Denzel run the affairs. I think it's time that he disappears. You must act decisively from the man from number 3 who want to put a gag order on we. Tell he and the attorney and my good friend Sam for me, you don't play that kind of hypocrisy. So if it means that you have to, you must stand alone. Even if you are forced to, you must stand up on your own. But you cannot flinch, cannot give an inch. You must refuse to be deterred. There are truths that must be heard. You cannot stand around and watch them want to take my crown. Not if you could help it from your bully pulpit. It is your obligation as leader of this great nation. You have no choice but to give me that crown tonight. Oh yeah, yo. You have no choice to give me that crown tonight. Thank you. Good night. I love you. I love you. Woo. Nice summer. Worship. Hey, please. I'm finished yesterday. Kaiser. 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 Hey! Kaiser time now. Enough of this. Hey! Right, everybody! Things not going well. You thought I was joking when I start complaining that things in this country not going well. You ignored my warning, and instead of heeding to the things I said, you gave me hell. But instead of getting better, we deeper in the mire. Now the whole ship going under, and all across the country, the people unhappy, can't eat, can't sleep, and fearing for their safety. And they crying, things not going well. I can't hear you. Things not going well. Let me hear you, man. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody have to tell you that what I say is true, because it ain't only me. Can you feeling it too? There's hardly anybody in this land not catching hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell things not going well. Hey, man! Let me hear you! This ain't a Queen show. This is a Calypso show. Hey! Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey! Yeah, man! Yep. Listen to your voice. The crime situation in this federation shows things really not going well. Murder is is not working. Meanwhile, another family is in mourning. While some blame the police for the obvious increase. For me, Israel without justice, there is no peace. And they're crying, things not going well. I can't hear you, things not going well. Let me hear you, man. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you that what I say is true, because it ain't only me. You feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not catching hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell things not going well. Rise up! Hey! All them small business crying out, things stop. In the business sector, things not getting better. Small business owners going through real hell. It's like we're forgetting that they are the engine, and when they drive, the country does well. As we look to build a future where everyone does better, we need a very strong small business sector. We have no other option to save this nation but to join hands and work in unison. And they crying, things not going well. I can't hear you, things not going well. Let me hear you, man. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you that what I say is true, because it ain't only me. Me friend, man, feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not catching hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell things not going well. Hey! And where they be? Them thin-skinned people. When they're supposed to be here, when the thin-skin, they're out there. This was for all you. Listen to it. Move up. Listen. Leaders, are you listening to all the complaining that things in this country not going well? The masses are crying, have a hard time coping, while some behaving like their heads swell. Some of your recent behavior leave much to be desired, like trifling with the media. You better take stock quickly and face reality. Oh, don't test, don't mess with our democracy. And we saying things not going well. Let me hear you, man. Get up, things not going. Stand up and sing it. Things not going well. I want to hear you. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you that what I say is true. It ain't only you, Dr. Jew, feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not getting hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell things not going well. Things not going well. What happened to the water by Taylor's Bridge? The people in shadow are calling our water, man. Dr. Joe, I want the 2,000 houses. Nice. Feeling nice. These people said I want a fair share. Thank you, good night. Have a good time. I'll be back. Yeah. It's not going well. Guys, come on. It's not going well. We're not that good. Saying it's Nevis is in a mess. Good evening and welcome to yet another live. I know you all miss me. I get the messages, I get your texts, I get your WhatsApp and so forth, but I'm back. Me ain't going nowhere. You know me ain't going nowhere. I am, as you hear the song say, I am the leader of the opposition. I am the people's defender. And I come to speak truth to power. Now I want to apologize. I usually start at 8. But for some reason this time I put 8:30. And so hence why we are starting out. I don't ever was trying to please those people in North America with the daylight saving time. Anyway, we are here. And I will tell you what, I'm not going to go around the world tonight. Just because I want to start at 8, I start at 8:30. So I won't draw you out with my long list, except to say good evening to my family, my wife Angia, children, Desiree, Caitlin, Kaylee, Elikai, my sister Faith, my brothers Marcus, Jomo, Ivan, Bernal, Berlin, and so forth, and everyone else around this world hearing my voice. Also want to big up, I have to say good night to my good friend Duji, Public Works. This is my father-in-law by another situation, you know me. He's my father-in-law, that's how we call each other. And so I want to big him up and the family. He called me this evening and he wished me well. That's my boy. And everyone else hearing my voice. The greatest Bend, good evening. I just want to big up everybody in the Federation and around the world who usually listen to me. Sorry I can't go around the world. I usually enjoy it, but I have to cut that short because we done gone half an hour behind time. So I apologize for this evening. I should blame my engineer, but I ain't gonna blame him. I ain't gonna blame the engineer. I ain't gonna blame him. So I take the rap for that. Now, birthday greetings. I want to say birthday greetings to all who had birthday within the last week, within the last month. When I wasn't here, I couldn't get to hail you up. But I want to say special birthday greetings to my good friend in Nevis, Crystal. Crystal, weekend sister. Crystal, Nevis Valley Mart. Crystal, for Buju. Crystal, Yalaman, mother. Happy birthday, I hope you had a good time. I sorry I couldn't come over to have a drink with you, but in time to come, I will be in Nevis and we can sit down and have a drink. Also, Khadija Griffin, over the Newcastle side, my good friend. She's a friend of my good friend, Jimmy. Good night and hope you had a good birthday yesterday. I saw you guys showing off. We didn't get picked. Me and Joshi and Hadis didn't get picked for Rasta. We didn't get picked for the team, but that's all right. I understand why. Also, my sister and Anushka, her daughter, my godchild, Adelia. Happy birthday, Adelia. Good to see you tonight, and I hope you have a good time. She's growing up nicely. And then I would top it off with, I know I would miss a lot of people, but that's all right. That's part of life. Our national hero, Azar Claxton. Overheard the first one, right? Claxton, good night, and I hope you had a good birthday today. I'm seeing something, I don't know if your mother have the same date, but I see her putting up like it's her birthday too. And if it's her birthday, tell us happy birthday. If not, happy birthday to you, Azara. And I wish you well. I know you're going to reach places. I'm one of your biggest fans. I need to become your coach next to show you how to bowl that in swing and out swinger. People know me
No, I play cricket. I see they have a Masters tournament and nobody called me to be in their team. I take that, I'm offended by that because I believe I could still contribute better than a lot of people in cricket. Anyway, I hope you're hearing me loud and clear because we're using a new technology tonight. And so if anybody can hear me loud and clear, just indicate. Now, on the solemn part, the bad part, death comes and is there for all of us. And it's sad that we have lost some loved ones along the way. Curtis Atherton from Flow, my good friend, met him through the days of Flow with Tahel and so forth. And I want to say condolences to his family, his untimely death, and may his soul rest in peace. Solly, Douglas down in Fig Tree, the postman. I was saddened when I heard the news of your passing. Always a pleasant guy. When I go to Fig Tree, he was always warm and welcoming. And so I know Fig Tree, you would have lost a good son of the soil. Warner in Nevis, my good friend Warner, who was buried a couple of weeks ago. He was on dialysis for a while. We became very close, my very good friend. Sorry I couldn't make the funeral because of unforeseen circumstances. But I want to let the family know that I'm praying for them and hoping that they are coping with the loss of a good man. The Anguilla community would know him, and Nevis and St. Kitts. Warner, he left a mark wherever he went. And so I want to just express my condolences. And then in recent time, Keith Glasgow, former principal, and I get to know him right there by Mem's Pizza. Very polite and cool-going guy, very unassuming. And Keith, we're going to miss you under the mango tree. My condolences to you, my brother. I also recognize Ita Riley. I didn't even know Ita passed, but I want to express the condolences to the Riley family. I see Pepe, Sony, Bobo, and all those. Condolences. And may your soul rest in eternal peace, as they would say in the church. So that is it. Now we ain't gonna waste no time. I don't think that we have time to waste. And so I want to go into the introduction. And let me drink some water from you. See this? My cable gave me a cup. They said they want me to advertise, and so they will give me good internet. And so I hope the internet is working good tonight. The cable. The number one provider, the biggest, baddest network in St. Kitts and Nevis. I wonder if they're going to pay me for that. Anyway, I took a break, my people, and I understand because people asking me, when you coming back? Because I ain't seen you. I ain't hearing you. They're paying you to hush. And all kind of things. And I've already said to you guys time and time again that this live I'm led by the Spirit. And so when the Spirit tell me take a break, I take a break. And the Spirit tell me come, I come. And that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And another thing is that people have to understand, people take this life for granted. And I'm not here to toot my horn and to make myself bigger than I am. I'm big lies. But I could tell you, when I come here to speak, I speak truth to power. And I don't make up stories. And I show many times when things happen, people say, well, big as he said. I don't come here for likes. I don't come here for, well, numbers. As I tell you all, I'm a teacher. I'm a lecturer. And my aim is to educate. And sometimes the truth might be harsh. Sometimes my comments might offend. But so be it. That is the sacrifice that I've made. Big sacrifice. I've got enemies that don't even know me. People don't even know me. I've gotten friends that don't even know me. So I don't care. It balances out. But the point is, I believe somebody has to do it. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the one now that has been chosen to do it. To speak about the issues of the day. To hold our leaders accountable. And so, provided the Spirit guide me, that is what I would do. I could lose everything that I have, except my family, because the other things would be tangible things that could be replaced. But while I have breath in this body, I will continue to speak how I see it, not how you see it, how I see it. And I'm not going to always be right, but it's how I see it. I may not always get things the way you want me to get it. And I just wanted to get that out there. I want to also say congratulations to the new government in Anguilla. The names are not familiar with me yet, but I just want to big up my brother Bernard Watley, who worked. I guess he took a page out of my book. You see, he worked, he know how to change governments, and he probably studied what I did. And he went out and he really made a difference. Campaigned, they did a program, and so I want to congratulate the new government in Anguilla. But please remember that I know Bernard. Bernard is my brother. Bernard is Eileen's child. And so he would hold your feet to the fire. I know that. And so please do good by the people. And keep Bernard off your back. Not because he worked to put you in. He expects good things. He expects you to be accountable to the people and do the people's will. You made some promises and bring forth the fruits of those promises. And so congratulations to the new premier, a lady. I don't have an official name, but I'm happy that you were victorious because I was supporting my brother in the background. So congratulations to the new government there. I also want to say congratulations to a friend of mine, Curtis Keynes of the fire department. They say FPO. When I see FPO, I thought it was fire personal officer, but I understand it's force personal officer. Curtis, you have suffered tremendously. You have educated yourself. And I'm happy for you that you would have gotten a chance to prove your worth and give it your best shot. That's all I can say. Give it your best shot. Everything is not going to be perfect, but you know I'm always rooting for you. And I really am really proud. And I hope that you can move on to bigger and better things. Curtis. In my introduction, I want to ask a question. I have it here. And maybe somebody out there could help me. Echo. And the people in the industry of entertainment would know about echo. All I'm asking, the question I'm asking is if echo is constitutionally set up. It is a legal entity in my country. I want to know that. Because to have any function now, it seems as though ECHO has to approve. I have no problem with that. I'm a law-abiding citizen. But I want to know if it is constitutional. I want to know if the authorities, the powers that be, if they went into, if I missed it, if they went into the chambers of the assembly and pass legislation to say that if I'm going to have a function, I must pay to get this ECHO license. I want to get it clear because I'm an entertainer. So I want to understand it. And I know Grace, if she hear this, because many times she asks me, big guys come talk, but I just want to know if it is legal. Because I'm an entertainer and nobody ever bring a 2 cents give me to say it's from my song. So I don't know how it works. I want to know how it works, but the first thing I want to know before I continue to speak about it, if it is constitutional, if it is legal, if we had to adhere by it, and what rules and guidelines are there in the Constitution. Not something make up. In the Constitution that would guide us. That's all I want. And I put a note here because I told my wife I'm going to ask about it. And I know when I say something, I'm going to do it. Anyway, my brother said, Mistress Cora Mac Richardson Hodge, the Honorable Premier. Cora Mac Richardson, or Cora May, not Mac, May. I hope me now, I can't see together. Cora May Richardson Hodge. So I am looking forward to travel down to Anguilla to meet the premier, the new premier, first female premier of Anguilla. And he sent me the other names of all the ministers and so forth. So I'll have a chance to look at that and speak to it. But as I continue, the ECHO thing has me because I don't know. It's quite exorbitant. You have to pay to have functions, and I want to know how that works. So somebody please keep me up to date. And I'm still in my introduction. This, I didn't know where to fit this, but I fit it right here. And it's my show, I do what I want. But Weatherman, my friend Weatherman, the police, I wanted to see you, but you're hiding from me. But I want to tell you something publicly. And this is my opinion, publicly. I don't like the way they treated you. I do not like the way they treated your daughter. And this is me speaking to you, Weatherman. I was a police officer, only for 4 years, but I think I know enough. And I believe that an individual is innocent until proven otherwise. But I also know that in the scheme of things, in our system of governance, Westminster model, sometimes we have to be careful how we deal with certain individuals because of their work. Now it's important. I said that not to give anybody a pass. And later on we're going to talk about the ECCB situation. Not to give anybody a pass, but we must be fair to individuals. Now, Weatherman, my issue is that whatever transpired with your daughter, she was working in the office of the Director of Prosecution, DPP office. She's a prosecutor. What they call them, they have an official name for them. We know what those people do. They prosecute criminals. They prosecute individuals who come to court. And so, whether or not we believe that this lady had done something wrong, they did the investigation and so forth. My point is because of where she worked. she should have never been sent to the prison. Weatherman should have not have had to deal with that because of her job. I, in my opinion, believe she should have been bailed immediately and do not have to deal with the drama. I believe they erred. This is my opinion. I know for a fact in this country, people who have been locked up because of their status, whether it's right or wrong, would have been treated differently. Now, I don't believe in preferential treatment, but at the same time, common sense must prevail. Is a prosecutor who have not been tried yet. And I believe she should have been granted bail with all the conditions. But you wait weeks, almost months after to grant bail. And to me, to almost like you want to make an example of her. But there must be a right way to do it. And so, where the man was sent home, and I know people going to say, oh, he don't retire, he went back and so. That's not the point. The point is how you deal with. And that is our problem. How we deal with situations. We want to change according to the offenders are. And I don't believe that young lady should have gone through that. Let her go to court. Try the case, you have evidence. And if she is guilty, then that's a different case. But you can't put a prosecutor, in my opinion, among the wolves. You throw the sheep to the slaughter. And the father trying to say, well, no. That's what I'm hearing. Can't do that. Then he got sent home unceremoniously. I'm only talking what I hear. But I know certain people, you can't do that. It's not how we're supposed to deal with things, especially when the court have not decided that they're guilty. And I just wanted to touch on that. So, the DPP, I hear you. I agree with some of the talk that you talk. I remember one time you said that you are a public servant. And so you don't mind being questioned. You don't mind people asking questions, hard questions. I heard you say that. I wish you could pass that on to the other public servants in this country who have me in court just to ask a sitting parliamentarian questions. So I hope they're listening to you. When you said that your back has to be broad, you expect people to ask a question because you are a public servant. And that stood out for me. And I hope people are listening. But Mr. DPP, I want you to understand that you just come. And so they have other cases there that I want you to look at. Because I recognize in this country, some people could do things and get away with murder. And while others have to pay the price. And always, it's always the small man. And me, I represent the small man. So, the severance money from the Labor Department, I want to know what happened to the case, Mr. DPP. I want you to look into that case. I'm asking you. That case was under the former administration. Give us an update as to what has happened to that case where the severance money went missing and certain people were charged. Up to now, no case. No, you ain't gonna like me. But I know when you catch me and how you want to catch me. See, me in a court who answer things when me not even. Me not defame nobody, but me in court to answer that. So I know how you all feel. Well, everybody must be held to the same yardstick. So, Mr. DPP, I want you to look into that. I soon finish my introduction. I made an observation the other day. You realize everybody who talk on radio, and these are politicians I'm talking about, politicians, and not radio alone, whether in the media, when they're out of power, why they sound good? They have all the solutions. When I listen to Timothy, my good friend Timothy, I just said to myself, but Timothy know these things when he was in power. My good friend. But I have to say, if only they listen to people when they're in power. But when they're out of power, they know everything. They know how the law works. They know how they're supposed to be. But when they're in power, they don't know. And listen, my good friend Sean Richards again. All the nice answers. Now we're in opposition. He know how the IMF report go. He know how this go. And how not go. And I don't doubt it. But my question is, when you're in power, what goes wrong? What goes wrong? I ask the question, because it's the same pattern I'm seeing now with this administration. Same pattern. They gone into power, and all of a sudden, nobody could tell them what is what. They're not listening to people who know. They're not listening to people who would have been down a particular road. As soon as you elect somebody in St. Kitts, they become experts. And so, the pattern continues. And when they mess up, they end up in opposition, they have the solution. And that is just my observation. And I say it because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, when we criticize, when we call out a minister, when we call out a public servant, sometimes it's not that we want to be malicious. Sometimes it's because we know what the right and wrong of the issue is. And so we're calling you out to do the right and the wrong. And sometimes you don't have to go up on your high horse. Sometimes I cannot believe it's the same people. I cannot believe sometimes. And it happens over and over again. And because I am not guided by a political party, I could support any party there is. I am guided by good governance, accountability and transparency. And if you're doing something, even if it is wrong, but in your opinion you're doing the right thing, I could live with that. And that is the difference, I could live with that. I could give somebody something and think I'm doing the right thing and let it be known. And if you say the wrong thing and you could bring the different guidelines, I could live with it. But don't tell me you go into power and all of a sudden you're exporting this, you're exporting that, you don't want to hear from this, you don't want to hear from that. And so, when I listen, the AG, going to say, and I had a note down below, but I'm going to say it now. Going to say, and tell a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, keep his name out the mouth. It's not the first time the AG speak like that, And Mr. AG, please listen to me. As a public servant, you must be careful how you craft your words. You're supposed to be an intelligent guy, a lawyer who should know how to put your words. But when you're going to tell a citizen, because they ask a question, whether a good or bad question, keep your name out the mouth. What are you saying to us? That we can't ask you good question or bad question? That we can't question your motives? That we can't question this? And you're a public servant? Selected? Not even elected? Boy, me and you good, but when I see these things, I don't have to talk about them because it is not becoming of a good politician. And I don't see why you guys get so thin skin. Like you're gonna be there forever? The people asking questions to be made wise. And you're not the only one. Sometimes some of them want to tell us how much an engineer they are. And so because you're engineer, you can't listen other people who are not even near what's to be engine. You can't listen people who have the know-how because they have been living it for all their lives. So you know everything because you're engineer. Man, we're going on a wrong road when it comes to politics and listening to the people. And I keep telling you guys, I've said it before in different occasions and different administrations. I've gotten big enemies because of that. People don't talk to me because of that. And I will continue to say it. Once you give your name up to say that you want to be a politician, you must come under the microscope. That is part and parcel of your job. And don't take everything as being bad, as being attacking you. Go home, lay down in your bed, think about what the people tell you, and make good decisions. Just a word to the wise, to the no politician, because why I'm speaking so passionate about this is that if we continue with how things are going, soon we ain't gonna have politicians to choose from. It's going to just be a recycle. We take out you put back in the same people who was not learning. We put back in the same people. Come on. And that is why I tell you, I was pushing that independence, an independent candidate might make a difference. Because we tired of the same old khaki pants. Into school. And I could tell you, I tell you so. I could tell you so. Because I spoke about the issue of the tendering there. And when I spoke about it, they cancelled. The person who won the bid, they pull it back. Me not asking you, I'm telling you. They pull it back. They didn't want to give the person because I had spoken. And maybe they think that Big Lie is going to go and they'll forget. And so they pull it back and they waste time. Because they didn't want it to seem as if I was talking things that were correct. But in doing so, inter-school ain't even no way going to be this year. Because they said the track is rained out. They say rain is what causing the track not to be finished. When we had a lot of time. They say the building and the stands may be completed, but the track itself. And I'm saying all these things could be avoided if we are honest with the people. If we tell the people the truth. Stop playing politics with all these little things. And so, up until today, we're not certain where the inter-school is going to be. Because I understand Nevis have the agriculture situation going around the same time. So they might not be able to go to Nevis. I'm hoping that a miracle would happen, honestly. That somebody could come and say, boy, the track finished and we could run. I don't know how prudent that would be because sometimes the track needs to be tested and whatever. I don't know if you have enough time. Me ain't no expert on that. I would have to call on the experts to give me an explanation. But we could have been avoiding all that if they weren't trying to cut corners and hide with all that was supposed to happen. And I ain't blaming Samal. I ain't blaming Conwys. I'm blaming all of them. It sound funny now? I ain't blaming them, but I'm blaming all of them who are responsible to have the track ready. Denying the youngsters a chance. But I guess when it's finished, they're going to have a big opening, a big launch. And everybody going to show up and drink caviar, drink rum, eat caviar, and then everything going to be alright. But inter-school, like, it's in the air. And the last thing I want to end on my long introduction is I listen Calypso in Trinidad. I ain't talk about Singis Carnival yet, you know. I ain't talk about what transpired December and people trying to create all kind of talk. Because when I sang, things not going well. And who win and who no win. But I looked at the Trinidad Carnival and I really and truly enjoyed it. The competition. Trinidad is a benchmark. I don't think Trinidad Calypso is way ahead of us, to be honest. My song was playing down there and the radio down station down there, whack and so forth. I don't think they're way ahead of us. But their productions and so forth, the teams and they put a lot of money into it. You hear how much money they get in. But I particularly love the last version of Calypso, Kurt Allen. That's my kind of Calypso there. Young brother wasn't bad. And the king himself, very unusual. My personal thing, I would not have choose him in a Calypso show singing that. And maybe the same thing happened in our show. Everybody got their different opinions and so forth. But I just want to say congratulations to those who were in the Calypso show and the finals. I was glued to the TV this time because some of the songs really reached out and made a difference for me. Now, what I'll do, I'll take a break and I'll come back on the other side and see what the birdie has to say.
I'm telling you, all work and no play, me say. This coming Saturday, 15th March, the Green Valley Pub presents March Madness. The people deserve some party. In the mix down, Extortion Sounds, The Ladies Defender, Triple S, Sweet Sister Sensio, Unstoppable Sounds, and the Horny Band, Grand Busters. Yes, it's all going down at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Admission $20 before the 15th, or you pay $25 at the gate. Pick up your tickets now at the Green Valley Pub or the BCA on Central Street. Let's check itself from 10 p.m. until plenty giveaways, monetary prizes including $500 cash, music festival tickets, and many more surprises. Check out the drink specials by the bar. Big up the sponsors: TDC Group of Companies, Eclipse Barbershop, Spratnet Bar and Grill, Mem's Pizzeria, Restaurant and Bar, Delta Petroleum, and Islander Water Sports Nevis. This coming Friday, 15th March Madness at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Sensio, Unstoppable, Extortion, and Grand Masters. The people deserves a party. You just can't miss it.
Oh, we're back, and that is the Green Valley session there. And all of you who can come, I know some of you all come early and support And you can leave if you old and grey. But it's a party we're gonna have. Is a different kind of party. And I want to explain that to you guys. And this is me thinking now, recognize that things tight. And so it's not all about making profits and so forth. And I believe you have something I want to give back to the people. And that is why I say you have giveaways. I will have a lot of giveaways. I can't tell you all that I want to give away. But I say some things. Music festival tickets, cash. So you go pay $20, come in and go home with $100. You never know. And it's going to be a $500 cash prize for somebody. But you must have a ticket. Come out, let's have some clean fun, let's have some music. We all deserve a party sometime when we work hard. Come out and support the function. And it's a different kind of vibe I want to bring where give back. It's not about just making money. I want people to be happy, have a good time, and they can make money when they come to the function. And they're going to get a haircut, pizza, lunch, dinner at Spatnet, at Mem's Pizzeria, plug oil, take you over on the boat, dine you on the rock, different things. And that is something I'm trying to introduce. So come on out and let's party. Now, we're going to the birthday, but before we go to the birthday, somebody just put a note there. And it's a very important note. The track is really now affecting the way our character athletes train. They don't have a proper track to train on. Unless they're going to go over to Nevis and train. And so, sometimes, I tell people, there's a word I use, unintended consequence. Sometimes things happen, it's not your intention to have it happen, but unintended. And so bad decision making by the politicians is going to cost the athletes a chance to perform at their optimum. Because some of these politicians don't want to listen to us. They know it all. They're engineers and they're scholars and they went to school and they have master's degree. And sometimes, right, I went to school too, And I got master's too, and I sometimes feel like to tell the university to take back mines. Because by association, when people cuss, they're going to cuss me too. But I don't think me in the boat there. I don't listen to people. I may not agree with you, but I'm going to listen to you. Some of these don't want him to listen. And sometimes it make me feel like I waste my money when to university. Because what? When I speak, nobody want to respect me, They see me as an upstart. They see me as somebody who just want confusion and not recognizing that my words fabricate stories. I'm not in that. I say exactly how it goes. Now, the birdie have a few things. The birdie say to ask the people what's happening at constituency empowerment. The birdie want to know what is happening at constituency empowerment. I understand that a big wig has been let go, transferred, kicked out, whatever word you want to use, in that department. A big wig. Somebody close to the PM has been sent out. And people are complaining. I understand that some senior officers who've been there trying to get transfer because of how constituency empowerment is being run. I also understand that there's trouble in the camp up at sustainable development. The birdie fly goes and tell me, Big Lies, things not going well in sustainable development. Now I know things not going well because when they went in first, They call a lot of people in there and say about the land and sit down and so forth. And since then, nobody tell me nothing. Now, you may say, well, you don't pay for your land. Well, I was given piece of land without any development at all on it. And this is the part that we got to start to hold these politicians accountable, whether this government or then government. It's time that we start to put infrastructure and in place, even a road. You give me a piece of land, you expect me to pay, but I don't have access to the land. How that works? That's not how it's supposed to work. Because the price includes payment for infrastructure. The price includes that. And so the least you could do is make it accessible to me. And now I know me, if me not in support of something, me not going to pay. Me don't tell you, me not going to pay until it's fixed. That's how me operate. Because the state has an obligation to do certain things. But you see, we sit down and we're afraid to speak because some people say, Lord, I got my mortgage, I got people in college, I got this and I got. Well, me not care. If you not do things right, I going to protest and bear the consequence. But the point I'm making is, I'm not going to allow you to continue to do the wrong thing and believe that you're right. I would always protest when I see things. And that's why I asked about echo, you know. Because I want to know before I start to protest. And that is just me. I don't even think about the consequences. And maybe that is why they fire me. Because things were there to be said and asked, questions were there to be asked, and I asked. And they say, well, boy, it's either he go or me go. I'm a small fish, so I go. That is how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. But don't feel sorry for me. I come with nothing, I can go with nothing. That is how I operate. But the birdie want to know what's going on at Sustainable. I saw a little thing there on Facebook, but I wasn't picking it up. When somebody saying they're from Kayon and they go poor and so forth, don't mess with me. And don't go. So I was trying to find, but nobody telling me the story. In Sustainable. But I just watching the play. I want to know what's going on at Constituency Empowerment. I want to know why they treat me good friend like that. These are things that we need to understand. We need to know. No secret. These departments and these ministries are not your home. It's not your own little thing, you know. It's the government thing that you are the custodian. We give you to run and you're supposed to account to us. That's why we use the word accountable. And a lot of you use it. Accountability. But you know, want to talk the things them when it comes to you accounting. I want to know what happening up the port. And I don't take with my partner vehicle. He can't get home. But other people could take home the vehicle. But they take with my partner vehicle. But I see a thing up there burning on Facebook. How that end up to burn up so? I hearing things. Marsha, you know, you're my friend, so let me hear you. Yeah, you're my friend. You were in school when I was at Basia School, and you're a nice young lady. Let me hear you. I want some answers there. And while I'm at it, Marsha, we got to deal with the Gulf Coast Institute, you know. We're going to deal with that in the next section. We got a lot of things to talk. Who want to go? Who want to go sleep, go sleep. I going to talk, you go listen tomorrow after you wake up. We start late and we going late. But I want to deal with that, Marsha, because some things should not be left untouched. And so I going to want to know about that. I want to know why the machine burned down. The bird just give me this. So because I've been out of commission for a while, I have to get back in the groove. And the birdie took a rest. And so I have to work with what the birdie bring at the late stage. Now, the birdie finish. So we're going into another section now. So what we're going to do? We're going to run the ad again because I want you all to come to the dance. We're going to run the ad and then we get into the state of affairs. This is where the juicy part coming up. So tell your neighbor to tell your friend. Join in. Come join in.
I'm telling you, all work and no play, me say.
This coming Saturday, 15th March, the Green Valley Pub presents March Madness. The people deserve some party. In the mix down, Extortion Sounds, The Ladies Defender, Triple S, Sweet Sister Sensio, Unstoppable Sounds, and the Horny Band, Grand Busters. Yes, it's all going down at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Admission $20 before the 15th, or you pay $25 at the gate. Pick up your tickets now at the Green Valley Pub or the BCA on Central Street. The check itself from 10 p.m. until plenty giveaways, monetary prizes including $500 cash, music festival tickets, and many more surprises. Check out the drink specials by the bar. Big up the sponsors: TDC Group of Companies, Eclipse Barbershop, Spratnet Bar and Grill, Mem's Pizzeria, Restaurant and Bar, Delta Petroleum, and Islander Water Sports Nevis. This coming Friday, 15th March Madness at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Sensio, Unstoppable, Extortion, and Grand Masters. The people deserves a party. You just can't miss it.
We're back. The cable. The water tastes good in that. The cable. It's water drinking, eh? Now, state of affairs. And we got out the bar because a lot of things here to talk about. Long time may come here and talk about the issues. I want to start off with education because I think there's a serious problem in the Federation as it relates to education. And I'm not going to call a name yet, but Jeffrey Hanley, I'm going to say call a name. I'm going to call some names, but I ain't going to call certain names. But Jeffrey Hanley, you need to pay attention. Seriously. We are getting too many issues or problems or complaints as it relates to the education system. And one of the names that keep popping up, and I said it before here, and all I'm going to say, well, you ain't like the woman or whatever. I don't even know the woman. But the permanent secretary, the name keep popping up. And they say she's doing a terrible job. Mayor Minson don't meet with that. The PS permanent secretary is doing a terrible job. And so a lot of people are leaving education or just being asking for transfers because she is not doing what's best for the Federation. That is what I'm hearing. I have good evidence though, you know. I have good evidence. And I want you, Jeffrey, to summon me to a meeting with you. So we could sit down and I could tell you of some of the horrible things I'm hearing about your permanent secretary. And not because she from number one, and not because she from Boardwalk. It's time that we get it right, that we take out the square pegs and put in the right peg in the right hole. And I show you how to do that. And so we can't continue to suffer because we want to give somebody a job. Too much square pegs in round holes. Or too much round pegs in square holes. And sometimes you need to pay attention, because I know that a lot of people ain't just complaining because they want to complain's sake. A lot of injustice is happening in the education system. And because I worked in there and taught for years, people reach out to me. And I come here now tonight because what? If I don't see improvement, if I don't hear about improvement, then I'm going to start to talk the things them. I'm going to start to talk the exact things. I'm going to start to ask why a teacher was transferred without asking to be transferred. Is it their politics? Is it because of the name of the person? Is it their politics? Are we still playing that political game? And if it's so, tell us. Because obviously it's not performance. And why CFBC is still seen as a foster child? The tertiary level of education, the institution that carries out the tertiary level, why are we still treating CFBC as a foster child? That they have to struggle to pay small money to people who work. Why is the permanent secretary deliberately frustrating the process at CFBC? These are very important questions, because we are sending our children to that institution. And if the lecturers can't perform, and if the administrators can't perform, and you know, the comments you make, she don't like people, she not relatable. Who the hell is this permanent secretary? What is her call to fame? That we was have a messing up the system. The education system was bad as it is. But when you put somebody like that in charge, it means that we go into hell in a basket. And this ain't nothing personal against the woman. I'm talking about from the complaints that I get. And I see what's happening, and I ask a question. And it's always the permanent secretary. Schools are struggling, not prepared. SBAs, not prepared. Moral is low in the education system. And me ain't finished yet, you know. But tonight, I'm going to divert, I'm going to leave some things for next time. Because some things happening in these institutions that need to be highlighted. When it comes to education, people must love it. People must love to see people pass. People must love to see people progress. And not trying to retard people, not trying to cheat people out of what is deserving. And that is what we are creating, a culture. Whether politics, family or otherwise. Oh, you know this person, and so you're going to treat him a particular way. We need to do with that nonsense. Because it means then that my wife, my son, and the daughters who came with my wife, they're going to suffer because of me big mouth. That is how we really reach to. That is where we reach to, that we are looking at people based on who they affiliate with, who they from, where they from, what their political background. We can't do that in education, man. I could see that, but not education. We cannot deny people what is theirs. And lecturers and teachers must give people their rightful marks. And the system must work. The system must work. I was in education, and it's a good thing. I worked at UWI. So I know what I'm talking about. I know the whole system inside out. I used to work distance education, UE. I went to UE. I went to the system, so I know. And we could do better than this. So, Mr. Minister of Education, when we meet, I want you to remind me and challenge me that we could talk about it. The sports. Right now it's sports season. And I like the sports, I like the competitiveness and so forth. But I think better could be done with some of the sports days. And I think one of the things is that my personal thing, the Ministry of Education and sports, they're not on the same page. They're not on the same page. And so, I would want to see better. Because while we're doing it, other countries are moving forward. And we can't deny our youths a chance to move forward. So, Mr. Minister, you are your handful there. And while on you, Mr. Jeffrey, let me talk about housing. And I could say again, I've been telling you so. Jeffrey Hanley, you must listen to me when I speak. You're my good student. You're my friend. May you talk. Because you might have other friends, so let me put it. May you talk. But you're my friend. And Val is my friend, your sister. But that East Coast development, that I looked at your video, I looked at your presentation in Parliament, and I saw that you were at pain. You were struggling to explain to the country what is happening. Anybody who follow me knows I've been asking questions about that company East Coast over and over again. And sometimes I want you all to understand, I just don't ask questions. I'm not genius. But I ask questions because people come to me with concerns. And a contractor came to me and said, Big Rice, boy, you're going to kill somebody. I said, no, don't kill nobody. But he said, but the East Coast man gone. Get up and gone and owe me. Did not pay me. I said, oh Lord. That is when I got the information that the East Coast man gone. And that's the Trinidad company. So, not only we ain't get 5% of the houses promised, but they have contractors here who are doing some early works who are owed. And so I guess that's why it was so painful for the minister to speak about that East Coast situation. But I warn you, I spoke to you about it. So we should have never gone to this. I know me ain't no advisor, but you should take my advice sometimes. I know you ain't hire me. You fire me. But you should listen to me sometimes. So when it comes to now to tell me that there are some, and you use all kind of technical terms to say, man, the man run and gone. And telling us, well, really, maybe we didn't lose no money. Maybe what he get was the start out money or whatever. The point is we lose time. We have lost a lot of time. That no houses were built. And so we have to now go back to the drawing board to probably get some local contractors to build houses. But it's going on 3 years since the government changed. And so if you had listened to me, you might have looked a little better. And so that housing thing is it's not good. It's a tragedy. It's not sounding good. But as I could say, I told you also. I told you also. Anyway, Jeffrey, take a break. The water wars continues for many citizens. The water wars continue. But I want to shed some light on something. I don't care how much engineer they have in public works. I don't care how much engineer the Minister of Infrastructure is. If you don't have a plan and you don't understand and always want to come and give us some long story about the rain patterns, no water falling, the aquifer, we could name everything that we say. If you guys don't allow the local layman who understand about the water to give some advice, we'll end up in this problem because you all ain't no shit. You all ain't no your ass from your elbow. And I said it because Keon well is functional. But how come Keon well is producing so much water and there is no difference in Monkey Hill or St. Peter's? Something is wrong. If Keon well is producing so much to take care of Keon, how come there is no relief in St. Peter's and Shadwell and those places and Lodge and so forth? And you're going to bring all kind of things and so forth. The other day we had some rain. Real rain. And you know 95% of that rain went back down to the sea. And let me tell you something. I always give you all advice, and tonight I'm giving you all some free advice again. And I said it when I was on Freedom. You all need to put in some catchments and some storage tanks. No matter how much well you have, no matter how much desalination plant you have, if you don't put storage tanks around this federation, you would always have water problem. Because desalination plant could go down, the pump, the well could go down, water could run and don't just go to the sea. If you don't have a way to store it, we would always have water problem. I remember when Nevis had a severe water problem. But when you go to Nevis now, you look around, you see all these water tanks all over the place. Not saying that they don't have water issues still. But it's not as bad as how my good friend in Shadwell have it. It's not as bad as how my good friend in Taylor's have it. It's not as bad as my people in Derby have it. and Birdwa and St. Peter's is not as bad because they have storage. And so, while I applaud the efforts to build desalination plants and so forth, you must be able to store the water for distribution. So all the engineer and motor whatever you all want to call yourselves, you are missing the point. That if you don't have storage, we would forever have a water issue. And even if you think 2-3 years or water running, that is not sustainable. You all like to talk about sustainable island state. Well, a sustainable island state needs storage tanks. Remember that. You need storage tanks all over St. Kitts and Nevis. Because we have enough avenues to get water. But it's to store it. We don't have that. The reservoirs are old and broken. So we're talking about aquifer. It's the reservoirs you have to revisit and build reservoirs. And now the technology is such that you have those ready-made fiberglass type of things. Do your research, man. That's why we put you there. So the water wars continue in the Federation. Let me move on. State of Affairs, Minister 10. Over the golf course. Zeke, my good friend Zeke, CG Glybird, Ricky Skerritt. Well, I don't think Dwyer play golf, but he has a big say in this. He's been talking about it. What is happening over at the golf course? I understand that the Frigate Bay Corporation would have given permission, I don't know if they sell the land or sold the land or is selling the land, to a big time businessman. A businessman. He was sold a piece of land that is believed to be encroaching on the golf course. The golfers are upset. Some of the residents of Frigate Bay are upset. I am asking you, Marsha, you again. Revisit that. You personally get involved. You're the minister. And say if it makes sense. See if it makes sense, because the golf and the golfing community, they're not happy. Most of them. And they believe that the individual who got the land have enough money to buy land anywhere else he wants. So why give him that piece of land to encroach on the golf course? Why give him that piece of land to encroach on the golf course? I know the young man. He got a lot of money. Like kiddie shit. And I know he could build wherever he wants to build. But sometimes we don't always do things that where we give people everything that they want. We have to look at the greater good. In politics, they teach you about the greater good. Very important. And so, is it the greater good to give him that land? Or is it the greater good to allow the golfers to continue to play golf and be comfortable playing golf on their spot that they've been having for time immemorial? I'm a man who likes changes, but the changes must make sense. And so, Marsha, I want you to send your people out there to check it out. Because it must make sense. It must make sense. We're going down. But I think now the next few overs, gonna be some hard ball. And so let me go into another break, a commercial break, probably the last break, and then we have some hard hitting issues to look at. So when I come back, don't miss it. We're going to start with ECCB. We're going up by the ECCB tonight. So go ahead. Commercials.
Where can you go to get the best in Caribbean cuisine? Man, I'm talking about the Green Valley Pub in Keon, St. Kitts. For the best to suit everyone's pocket, and they're open Monday to Saturday. Every day is a special. Stew pork, curry goat, oxtail, fish, chicken, soups, and much more. Well, they also cater for the vegetarian and the vegans. They're located on the Island Main Road in Keon in the Green Valley, St. Kitts. Check out the pub now, tomorrow, and always. The pub for the best in Caribbean cuisine.
No play me say.
This coming Saturday, 15th March, the Green Valley Pub presents March Madness. The people deserve some party. In the mix down, Extortion Sounds, The Ladies Defender, Triple S, Sweet Sister Sensio, Unstoppable Sounds, and the Horny Band, Grand Busters. Yes, it's all going down at the Green Valley Pub, Keon. Admission $20 before the 15th, or you pay $25 at the gate. Pick up your tickets now at the Green Valley Pub or the BCA on Central Street. The check-ins are from 10 p.m. until plenty giveaways, monetary prizes including $500 cash, music festival tickets, and many more surprises. Check out the drink specials by the bar. Big up the sponsors: TDC Group of Companies, Eclipse Barbershop, Spratnet Bar and Grill, Mem's Pizzeria, Restaurant and Bar, Delta Petroleum, and Islander Water Sports Nevis. This coming Friday, 15th March Madness at the Green Valley Pub, Keon. Sensio, Unstoppable, Extortion, and Grand Masters. The people deserves a party. You just can't miss it.
Okay, we are back, and everybody deserves a party. Come out Saturday night, come enjoy yourself. If you all come early, party early, and then you go home. Now, the golf course issue is concerning the land. It has to do with the man there, what his name is? For the Rams group. Kishu grandson. We good partner, but I want to know what's going on, so we got to know what's going on. You can't have everything, you got all the money, you can't have everything. Anyway, I want to speak about the ECCB situation. And now that all you're hearing about it, and some of you all don't care about it, some of you all don't know about it, don't understand it. But I want to speak to it tonight. And Juni called me today and had me speak. But I want to speak again. Because I think it is very important. I hope you all understand that the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, which was established in 1983, the same year we got independence. I want you to understand before that they had ECA. It was an authority then to control our dollar. Very important that our money be stable and so forth. And they established the central bank. And usually, the central bank is a regulator, an advisor, and guide and so forth for the other banks. But the central bank is made up of workers from the OECS, meaning Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla is in other associated states, and BVI, I think, Montserrat. Because BVI don't use our easy dollar. Montserrat. Now, what you got to understand, these people are hired from the different countries to run the bank affairs. Last week, Ralph Gonzalez, in a letter that people are claiming was leaked, brought and highlighted an issue where the bank was building a house that is now at the tune of $22 million and counting. And he called for the resignation of the governor, Timothy Antoine of Grenada, who is the governor here in St. Kitts. And this story is creating some real confusion and friction throughout the OECS and the wider field. Now, I put on my Facebook page that the governor should go. And my reasoning is that, based on the figures that you're telling me, something is wrong there. Me saying that something is wrong there. I can see and fathom how a house that started at 7 million in estimation could reach 22 million in overrun. That is me. Some people disagree. The gentleman is light, Christian-minded, came to St. Kitts, so he's bright and so forth. People are saying that Gonzalez has ulterior motives and so forth. And to be honest, that is not neither here nor there for me when it comes to Gonzalez. But all I could tell you, Gonzalez is a prime minister of a country, an independent state, a member of the OECS, a member of the Currency Union. And prime ministers have a right to run the country how they want. And prime ministers have a right to ask questions when they want concerning things that their country are involved in. I know people are saying it's the way it was done. But we don't know the story behind it. And whether he have a ulterior motive or not, he must know why. Because he is a prime minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I disagree with all people who say he got ulterior motive, he wants somebody else for the job. That is beside the point. For me. And so, we have to understand the unique thing is that Ralph Gonzalez is not a member of the Monetary Council, because the Monetary Council is made up of ministers of finance. But his son is on the board for the Monetary Council. His son, who is the Minister of Finance. And so that is part of the complication. Because it could very well be that Ralph don't know what's going on. Because he's not a part of the monetary thing. And it could very well be when Ralph found out what was going on, he wrote a letter. Some people are asking, and Doya asked, why the letter went to the Antigua man when he should have gone to the Anguilla man. The Anguilla man subsequently lost his seat. They say the letter was sent before that situation. Maybe Ralph see that he was going to lose his seat. He wrote to the man. My question is, if the letter went to the wrong person, well, why did Gaston answer it? Why did Gaston feel that he had the right to answer it? If he felt that Gonzalez was out of place, why did he answer Gonzalez? These are questions we could ask. But that is not my issue. I don't care about them semantics. My issue is that I believe the governor, and let me tell you all something. The central bank has a board that is made up of all the financial secretaries or permanent secretaries in some cases that deals with finance. So Hillary Hazel is on the board, and all the other permanent secretary of finance across the region is on that board. That board is headed by Timothy Antoine. He's the governor and he's the chairman of the board. His deputy is also on the board. Now my thing is, there must be a hierarchy. When would the ministers know how the monies were spent? And see, this is where I have a problem, because I should not be speculating. I believe the governor owes us an explanation as the chairman, not only the governor of the bank, but the chairman of the board, and the board runs the affairs of the bank. I want you all to understand this now. So he is the governor of the bank, but he's also the chairman of the board. I hope you all recognize the complication here. And so the question is, who is going to hold who accountable? And if you started at 7 million and you had to go back, who gave the okay, go ahead, spend? Was it the chairman of the board? And this board, did he have to go back to the ministers who are the finance ministers of different countries? Who had to say? This is what we want to know. And we want to know if the monetary people, the monetary council knew about this money and said nothing. We want to know if the board knew about it and said nothing. Or was Mr. Antoine acting on his own volition? That's all we're asking. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a civil servant. And so he needs to answer the questions. Nobody above nothing. Yes, you like him. He nice, he this, he that. Oh, summer. People nice and this and that too. And you all fire them. People nice and this and that too. You all reprimand them. So why would he be so special that he can't come to us and tell us this is how the monies were spent? And if you got to say, well, the monetary people know, tell us that they knew. So that we could know, well, the Minister of Finance, they knew about it. And then we will, okay, deal with that differently. But to hear nothing at all since this story came up is mind-boggling to me. And I am calling on the governor or somebody from the board to come and speak to the people of the OECS. Because you are accountable to the people. It's the people's money. My question is, if this bank is acting so, how can we trust them to give us good advice? I understand that When we had the COVID, they didn't want to extend the moratorium for poor people to not get the chance to not pay. They didn't want to do that. So they're hard and fast. They're there instructing the banks, the different banks, how to regulate. Hard and fast. Poor people can't get a good loan because so many things, these things come from the central bank. All these things and guidelines come from the central bank. So poor people can't get money easy now because the central bank would have made it difficult for poor people to get money, to be comfortable. But here it is. The bank itself spending lavishly. I hear marble in every room. You all listen to pitch marble? Marble floors, marble this, marble that in every room. Why would a governor want to live that way with all that money? And worse, don't want to come tell us how the money was spent. 7 into 22 is 3 times. 7 3s are 21. Triple. And all we are asking for, give us a breakdown, give us an explanation, tell us how it reached to that. And as I mentioned today, I believe if the central bank can build a house, it got to be duty free. So I want to know if this money is duty free money. And if this money is duty free money, then the house in real actual worth is more than $22 million. That money could have built 100 low-income house or more. That could have built 2 more palaces if it said me started that. And all I am asking, me, some people fear to talk and some people fear to open their mouth. But foolish me asking that the governor must come to the people and say something. I don't care to hoots about Gonzales and what motive. That is beside the point. This remind me of the man for MSR. I don't even answer here about him. When the MSR man came to us and he was I wasn't concerned about that. I was concerned that the MSR man made us wiser in finding out how much money went through. That's what I'm concerned about. So if Ralph, whether he have motive or not, and spoke out of turn, my thing is that he out in the open. And so we need to know about the $22 million. I need to know about the $22 million. And I want to know who gave you the graces to say, well, go ahead and spend that kind of money. You see, because, love's on half, so, And I listen to a lot of people talking, right? When in the last administration, down the port, when they built that shed down the port, the little thing for $400 and something thousand. $400 and something $1,000 for the little thing. Man, everybody call for everybody head. They want Sean head, they want this head, they want that head. They were asking for answers. When the shed that we knew didn't cost that money was built. So how come it's so different now? Huh? How come it's so different now? It's the same thing. We want to know how the money was spent. That's all we're asking. So I don't see why we want to deal with, even though it's local politics as opposed to the bank politics. How we were so hard and fast to go after Sean. But now, the governor need to answer questions and we should leave the governor alone. We could leave the governor alone because $22 million is no money. People justify, that ain't no money nowadays. Some of us will want $200. $22 million is no money. But as I say, I've had my say. And I'm going to continue to monitor what happens with that issue at the central bank. Let me move down. They have some farming issues. I've been mixing it up. Farmers are crying out. I know every time I talk about farming, some are going to tell me, boy, things going well and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I like that when you try to make sure that things going well. But farmers are crying out for water on their farms. Farmers are crying out about the livestock. And I want to deal with an issue here. All these three animals around. Mr. Minister of Agriculture, you're ultimately responsible. Livestock, people have the livestock up and down the place. In Keon here, I can't get a break. If I go down the road and come back in the pub, shit all over the place. The goats come in, they pull down this, they pull down that. And nobody seems to be doing anything about it. Everybody just seems so relaxed and carefree, as I say in my song. Nobody thinks that is important to have these goats going around, and this is Keon. When they're going across the bypass, animals up and down the place. We need to do something about it. When are you going to bring back a pound or hold these people accountable? Something must be done. But the people want water, man. Mr. Minister, my good farmer friend down in Sadlers, Fast Dan, needs some water on his farm. The pipe just down the road. The young man is trying. And I'm not talking about Fast Dan alone, but all who need water, let us find a way to get means of getting water on the farm. Because you all say by 2025, see, it's gone to 2030 now. And we're going to continue to kick the ball along the road. We're going to continue to kick the ball along the road. We must be able to feed ourselves, as you say. Which takes me into my next topic about the American tariff issue. Donald Trump, since he got in office, is making some moves that have us wondering and have the Americans wondering, what did they do? The tariffs war with Canada, the tariffs war with Mexico, and tariff is a tax on produce. And it means then, if he is waging war with America, with Canada and Mexico, prices of goods going to go up. We can't take the price of goods as they are now. And so that's going to be another issue. And so we got to now try to put things in place that our local farmers have all what they need to produce. You understand? But the tariff's going to be an issue. And so farming must be our priority to produce food locally. We're going to have to make some changes. We're going to be forced to make some changes. Because, in Canada, they already take some of the things off the shelf. They can't get certain products now because they are fighting back. And it's only time it reached down here where we might not be able to get sardine and this and that and so off the shelves. Because the tariff war, if it continues, if it's allowed to continue, will affect us. But every country is sovereign and independent country is sovereign. We can't tell them what to do. And so it is up to them. But it brings me to another issue of the US/Cuban issue. with it as it pertains to us. And I think our Minister of Foreign Affairs would have addressed these two issues. But I want the local man, the little man, to understand what is happening here. St. Kitts Nevis is an independent country. No body or country should be allowed to dictate to us what to do. They could suggest to us what to do, and you hear all the things. If we don't do, they take away visit, they take away this, and so forth. And so one of the things that we did long ago was to create CARICOM, the Caribbean Common Market, Caribbean Community, whatever you want to use. And one of the things, the main reason for CARICOM is to negotiate as a bloc. Not as individuals, but as a bloc. And so as far as I'm concerned, when it relates to the tariff and the Cuban issue, CARICOM must now come together. No more than ever, we need CARICOM to speak on behalf of all 15 territories and more. To speak and negotiate as a bloc, not individually. And I know America, the tactics, they're going to try to speak to us individually, but CARICOM should insist. Because they are trying this clear tactics. And we must now bond together more than ever as a community. And this thing going to happen back and forth because it's all about a power struggle. No time now, I sure. China won't get involved in this tariff war. And Europe going to have to get involved. And this going to get involved. And it's going to get nasty. Because everybody is trying to leverage for position, for power. And so CARICOM would have their work cut out for them. And this is where the machinery must demonstrate that we are willing to work together as one. CARICOM. CSME is on its way and you're trying to fight for years now to get it going. But I want to see if they can get this one right. To speak with one voice to represent the Caribbean people. And I know we have our issues. I know separatedness. I know about the insularity. I know everything that exists. And this is when now we need strong leaders from all territories to push the agenda. But we got to be careful. Diplomacy must be at work. And I know it's a ticklish topic when it comes to Cuba and what they have contributed to us and what they're helping us with. And are we saying as a CARICOM Union, as a Caribbean Union, that we are willing to turn our backs on our brothers and sisters in Cuba? Are we going to allow America to dictate to us what we do? And these are hard questions that need sober answers. And so I'm calling on the leaders to do the right thing. I don't know what the right thing is, but you are being chosen to lead. And so you must make decisions for the betterment, not only of the Federation, but the Caribbean region. And we're winding down. Marsha Henderson, I want to congratulate you. I heard you get some awards there. Somewhere down in Europe, somewhere over there in the European continent. And I must say, personally, I believe that you are doing a wonderful job in tourism, in airlifts and so forth. continue the good works. The taxi men said they need back carnival, so work hard to get back carnival. Fix the golf course issue. Fix the port issue. That's what I got to say on that. Then we go on to Conwis Menten Maynard, Public Works. I want to tell you something, right? When I come here to talk, me not just come talk. Me talk facts, and I tell you already. I remember speaking about the quarry and the lack thereof, or there was, of machines. And I get a lot of licks for it. And I spoke about how could we have an individual running the quarry when the government was sitting back. And I got a lot of licks for it. But I was happy to see the ceremony. You see, they don't listen to me, you know. But they don't want to say they don't listen to me. To see the ceremony of the new quarry machine. That's why I speak. Me don't come here and look at enemy and no friend. I talk about the issues because cement gone up, concrete gone up, blocks gone up because we couldn't get the aggregate. And I'm happy that somebody whispered in the minister's ear. I don't know if it's the father contender, the prime minister, however. Get the machines. Don't take on big lies. Get the machines. And so I want him to know that he got to get the water tanks too to fix the water issue. I remember speaking about the Bastia High School and the Kim Collins. And if you had listened to me, the Kim Collins Stadium would have been finished already. But because I call and say, this company got the job, and that company got the job, and we want to know where the company come from, they pull it back. I remember. That's one of the reasons why I'm in court, you know. Because I asked questions about the new company. All I asked, what's the affiliation with this new company? But what? See, we get in the shitty end. The Kim Collins not ready. Because we push back everything. And sometimes as ministers, you have to listen. So when I come and talk about the water issue, listen. When I come and talk about the post office and the mall issue down there, listen. IT people crying out. But I got to call on that birdie to give me some information up there, the IT department, and what is happening. I hear Auntie A behaving good up at IT. But that is story I've been saying for a while. But you see what happened in politics, eh? It's who you know and where you're from. And who are big labor, who are small labor. But all I tell them, at the end of the day, the truth shall be revealed. Can't hide it. Can't hide it. Healthcare. They said the scan is here. MRI coming. Hospital coming. But we still need to work on the attitudes at the hospital. Some people say, oh, the nurses are so nice. I know they have lovely, nice nurses. But in between, they don't have some bad ones. In between, they don't have some bad ones. You understand? So, we have to continue working at the craft. I saw some pictures of the psychiatric ward. I don't know if it's true pictures. I don't want to say it's true pictures if it's really confirmed. But the conditions not looking good. Mental health is really an issue. And we must be able. Now somebody asked me, how are you going to deal with them? Mentally ill people. How are you going to get in the cell to fix up and so forth? There must be a way. to deal with these people. But the conditions, if that picture depicts the condition, we need to fix it fast. Mr. Martin, Dr. Joe, we need to fix that fast if that's the case. National security, everybody speaking about the months that we are going without any incidents of crime. Very good. But we must pay attention, analyze, and find out what is bearing and bringing the fruits of success. We cannot get on our high horses and believe that all is well. We must continue to reach out to our citizens. I don't like to use the word gang members and those kind of things, but our citizens, and get to speak to them to let them find out what's going on. You okay? Because as much as we are doing well, it don't take much to change the status quo. And so I don't want anybody to be boasting. Who I want to give credit to, and this is me, is not the police. Who I want to give credit to is the same gangsters that you all call them. The same people who we used to accuse of doing these bad things. Those are the ones I want to commend. I want to give them credit to recognize and understand that we all could live in peace and harmony. That we could all settle our differences without violence. To me, those are the heroes and the sheroes. That they recognize the importance of peace, the importance of non-violence. And so I want to commend them. Yes, I want to commend the police force, Sutton and Nick's crew, for continuing to work, and all the people in the armed forces who are making a difference. But let us not become complacent, because there are different reasons why people commit offenses. And if things not going well and hardship come, people might have to find alternative ways. And so I am always an advocate to look out for the small man. And I'll continue to be an advocate to make the resources available to the poor and the indigent. Look out for the small business, that they can continue to serve the people of the communities. I am one who believes that the government need to ensure that the small business sector is vibrant. They can continue to employ people. They can continue to sell at rates that is different to places like Frigate Bay and those places. And it is important that the government recognize that. Monies are important. Finance, important. Now, I can't say sorry enough for staying so long. But then again, as I say, I'm guided by the Spirit. And so, you recognize tonight, I try not to be too hard and harsh, because this is what season this be? The Lent season. The season when you have to tone down a bit. I ain't no Christian, but sometimes I like to follow certain values. But bet your life I'll be paying attention. And I will continue to hold this government accountable. And so, my people, until you hear from me again, I want to say good evening, have a good night, Godspeed, and continue to be safe. Thank you.
I'm telling you, all work and no play, me say.
This coming Saturday, 15th March, the Green Valley Pub presents March Madness! The people deserve some party! In the mix down, Extortion Sounds, The Ladies Defender, Triple S, Sweet Sister Sensia, Unstoppable Sounds, and the Horny Band, Grand Busters! Yes, it's all going down at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Admission $20 before the 15th, or you pay $25 at the gate. Pick up your tickets now at the Green Valley Pub or the BCA on Central Street. The check-ins are from 10 p.m. until plenty giveaways, monetary prizes including $500 cash, music festival tickets, and many more surprises. Check out the drink specials by the bar. Big up the sponsors: TDC Group of Companies, Eclipse Barbershop, Spratnet Bar and Grill, Mem's Pizzeria, Restaurant and Bar, Delta Petroleum, and Islander Water Sports Nevis. This coming Friday, 15th March Madness at the Green Valley Pub, Keyon. Sensia, Unstoppable, Extortion, and Grand Masters. The people deserves a party. You just can't miss it.